What's up, YouTube? I am doing a video today that I've been thinking about doing for probably over a year now. I'm going to watch one of my old YouTube videos, like a full day of eating type of video with my training and all of that from 6 years ago. Oh my gosh, is it 6 years today? It's so right now, as I'm filming this, it's June 16th. This video I'm watching is from June 19th, 2015. So almost 6 years ago to the date. So I wanted to just do kind of like a Lynette Reacts video to how I used to work out, how I used to eat, how I used to really do the whole fitness thing, because this video at this time in my life, I had just finished competing in a bodybuilding competition like a week earlier. I was reverse dieting. I was taking myself super seriously, and yeah, I have not watched this video in years, and so we're gonna watch it together. Hey, all right, so let's watch this together. Matt used to edit all of these for me, by the way. Look how young I look. I look so young.
Friends, it is, I'm spilling coffee. It is Wednesday, June 10th. I don't know. It's Wednesday, June 10th. This is attempt number 3 at filming everything I eat in a day now that I am on day 3 of my reverse diet. Day 1, I had a friend come in from out of town and she was staying here unexpectedly, so I stuck to my macros, but I felt weird filming all my food. And then yesterday, I ended up going to a baseball game with a bunch of my friends, and I stuck to my macros, but like I just was so busy rushing my meals that I didn't think about filming the last half of them. This is what always happens. I start out strong, and then by like meal 3, I'm like halfway done eating, and I'm like, I didn't film this. So today I think I'm only gonna have like 3 meals because it's already 8:30.
This is so weird for me to be watching myself back. Side note. And I feel like my voice has gotten deeper over time. I don't know why that happened. Age? Does that just happen?
And I just have a lot of weird stuff going on today, so my schedule is kind of only gonna allow for 3 meals. And I like it that way. I way prefer like
that's still true.
Smaller meals.
I prefer like a couple of
meals as opposed
big
to like
meals.
15 million tiny meals. So yeah, about to eat breakfast. I think I just spit. By the way, my macros right now are
60 fat, 80 carbs, 150 protein. That protein is out of control. Just so you guys know, at this point in time, I'll pause that recording. At this point in time, I was like 135 pounds. And so 150 grams of protein was just so not necessary, but I didn't know any better. My coach that I'd been working with at that time, he said 150 grams of protein was what I needed. A lot of the like bro bodybuilding world was really sticking women on 150 grams of protein kind of across the board, or 160 grams of protein. I had friends on 200 grams of protein a day. I really thought that that's what I needed, and now, you know, kind of coming on this side of things, I definitely did not need quite that much protein, and especially having such low fat and carbs in comparison. Like the bulk of my diet was was protein. So like, okay, so if 150 grams of protein is 600 calories a day coming from protein, 540 calories a day were coming from fat. So less of my calories came from fat than protein, and only 320 calories a day came from carbs. So 320, just doing math over here. So 860 of my calories every day came from like actual energy sources like carbs and fat, and 600 came from protein. So basically, like close to half of the food I was eating had to be protein, which is just super unbalanced. It really, really is. Especially for where I was right now, post-competition, super duper lean, super starved. I'd been dieting for realistically years, but I had been on a strict diet for about 23, 24 weeks at this point. So like I needed food, but didn't know that at the time.
Leading up to peak week, I was around 20 to 30 carbs, 70 to 80 fat, and 150 protein.
Did I just say 20 to 30 carbs? I need to just like rewind.
I was around 20 to 30 carbs, 70 to 80 fat, and 150 protein. Yeah, it was rough. but my body was not responding to anything.
You're telling me, girlfriend, and it's funny, I remember this. I talk about this on social media from time to time, just telling people like where I came from with my diet, but like 20 grams of carbs a day, 20 grams of carbs a day. I can't.
Other than that, and it still barely responded to that, so yeah, we are definitely taking the next.
And the fact that I'm even saying that like that's what it took for my body to respond and that my body barely even responded to that, like that was a sign that my body was over dieting. It's a sign that my body was just like tapped out, which like, yeah, because from the end of 2013 until this point, mid 2015, I'd been working out once or twice a day, 6 or 7 days a week, dieting almost nonstop, maybe having like, I think I literally, but in this time, I only had a few weeks of time total where I wasn't dieting. Like my body was done. Like metabolically, I was really at a super low point. I should not have been dieting. I should not have been dieting. I should have been working on really rehabbing my metabolism and getting it back to like a high functioning state. But I was so obsessed with being lean. And that's really what drove this competition for me, was to just get as lean as possible. That I was just willing to do that instead of actually get healthy. And I paid for it for a long time, but
we're definitely taking the next at least 6 months to really just rest my body and reverse my diet as best as we can.
That was the plan.
That's why this
I didn't stick to that.
Is very important. I don't mind tracking my macros, but it's like very imperative right now that I definitely do. Just because I know my body's in a weird state where if I didn't track, I'd probably gain a ton of weight really fast, just because
I would have.
My body's so
and I did when I stopped tracking.
Turkey bacon. We've got blueberries and strawberries.
Side note: I hate turkey bacon now, and I never eat it.
Egg whites.
I also never eat egg whites.
So, 3 cheers for this. Haven't had this in my coffee in like 4 or 5 weeks. I'm a very happy camper. So that is part of breakfast. Berries are gonna go in here. Yeah. And there's breakfast. Egg whites with some Mrs. Dash garlic powder and a little bit of salt.
Oh, that sounds so disgusting.
And some turkey bacon. Do you see this steaming? I'm excited. And my coffee. And my
I was excited for egg whites. I hate it here.
And my coffee.
Mia! Oh.
Last minute adjustment. I decided I wanted more fat in my breakfast because I'm not eating again for like 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't know.
That stuff.
So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of cracked nut butter, chocolate chip cookie dough flavor.
First of all, that, I don't even know if that stuff exists anymore. It was so good though. It was like some sort of like nut and seed butter that was like chocolate chip cookie dough flavored. And when you would open the jar, there'd just be like a layer this thick of chocolate chips. And I discovered this stuff when I was in prep for my competition. And I remember the first time that I ever tried that, I was like maybe like 6 or 8 weeks out for my show, I think. And I picked it up at GNC, and I remember sitting in my car and I opened the lid, and it was like, I had this hormonal emotional sensation go over me, and I literally ate like a third of the jar in one sitting. And I didn't have a spoon in my car because I was in my car. So I literally think I either used my finger or I used like a plastic knife that I found. Like it was so savage in a way. And it's like weird when I talk about it now, but it was sad. Like my body was so hungry and so craving like just energy and calories that like choices like that felt impossible to not make. And I would buy that stuff and I'd be like, okay, you can't buy this anymore, Lynette. Like you just keep like kind of binging it. And yet I would buy it again because I loved it so much, and then I would binge it. I remember the day before my competition, I was like literally in my car eating this at the mall because I was so hungry. And in my head, I was like, well, my competition's tomorrow. Like what's done is done. I'm not going to be able to get significantly leaner now. It was so messed up in so many ways.
Dough flavor. Just straight to my mouth.
Okay, looks kind of gross, but
it was really good. And I'm not a huge like nut butter person anymore, but that stuff was so good.
Chocolate chips, but I might target them when I open a jar. I love this stuff.
I'm at work. I just did 25 minutes of cardio. It's like
my old job when I worked at Anytime
12:20.
Fitness.
I ate 3 hours ago, and I'm
How much
starving.
cardio?
When I was
cardio
on prep,
did I just
swear
do?
to you, I just did 25 minutes of cardio.
25 minutes of cardio.
It's 12:20. I ate
That was a big decrease from what I was doing. I was doing an hour to 2 hours a day of cardio right before my competition. So I will say I definitely dropped my cardio pretty quickly, thank God.
3 hours ago, and I'm starving. When I was on prep,
Yeah.
I swear to you, I never got hungry. I don't know.
Yeah,
and I've heard that that's
good.
like a sign that your metabolism is not doing well is when you stop having hunger cues.
Yep.
Didn't really have
Super
any
normal.
illness, like
When you start reverse dieting, so here's the thing, when you are dieting down, your body will be hungry for a while, but if you are continually in a diet, especially if your fats are really high and your carbs are really low, you can get to a point where your body just doesn't really experience a ton of hunger anymore. It's not really a good place to be. It's a sign that your metabolism is really slowing down, which is very normal for prep. But then when you go to reverse diet, which if you're not familiar with reverse dieting is when you slowly increase your food intake after the end of a diet, to slowly work yourself back up to like maintenance level calories. So that's what I was doing here. I was doing it a really, really terrible way. I was planning on taking like 16 weeks to reverse diet. I should not have taken that long. I never let people take that long to reverse diet anymore unless they have something really severe going on, which despite how bad this was actually not that severe. I should have been reverse dieting in like 4 to 6 weeks. Honestly, I just had a coach who didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. So I was trying to drag my reverse out 16 weeks. That being said, this level of hunger I was experiencing, when you start to reverse diet, you are starting to repair your metabolism. You're starting to increase your metabolic function, which means you're gonna be feeling more hungry. And so what I was experiencing was very natural. I was starving all of the time. All of a sudden, it was really frustrating.
go do my shoulder workout. Is that what I'm doing today? Shoulders and triceps. I'm gonna go do that. And then I get to eat.
This music, man. It's crazy. Like, I was so little. And it's funny, people ask me often, like, do you miss that body? Like, don't you look back and feel XYZ? Like, I see this body and I'm like, dang, that girl looks really good. But just knowing what it took to get there, I know over and over and over, it just was not worth it. It just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the effort and the energy and the hunger and like everything. And like, yeah, I looked good, but you know what? I think I look good now too, 20 pounds heavier, 15 pounds heavier. And you know, it is what it is. I definitely just don't waste any time. You know, I think a lot of us can play this game of like, I wish I looked better, but I don't want to do the things required to get there. Okay, so then like, do you want to just live in that misery forever? Or do you want to just make peace with like, okay, that body's nice. I'm not willing to do what it takes to get there. So I will just be content with where I am now, which is really the place I've settled in the last couple of years and is really peaceful for me. So yeah, that girl looked good though. I was very tiny though. I didn't even have a ton of muscle on my upper body because I was so afraid of looking bulky that I just was really skinny up top and then had some seriously intense lower body muscles. Oh my gosh, the prep, the bikini poses.
Meal of
Hilarious.
egg whites and oat bran with some Walden Farms pancake syrup and
That's
3
disgusting.
tablespoons of this stuff.
Okay, I will say, here's what I'll say. I still use Walden Farms pancake syrup. It just tastes good to me, and it's like, they say 0 calorie. It's not. It's probably like, for the amount that we all use, it's probably at least 20 or 30 calories, but whatever. It literally doesn't matter. I still like Walden Farms pancake. I still make my oatmeal in a similar way with like oatmeal, pancake syrup, and nut butter. So like, I won't get mad at myself for this, but like the egg whites in there.
3 tablespoons of this stuff. I'm telling you guys, I'm obsessed.
I hate it. I know.
I use
Whatever.
oat bran as opposed to oatmeal just because I like the texture better. I don't know, it's a little bit finer and I think it's less carbs and a little more
Oat bran does
protein.
slap. I'll give it that.
Egg whites.
Oh,
are
I
just
didn't
been
put egg whites in the
seasoned
oats. Okay,
with
good.
Everything under the sun to make them taste less like egg whites and more like something more delicious than egg whites. I love this meal. I have no words. I have no words.
Okay, so I posted about offering online personal training on my Instagram and my Facebook.
This was the day!
Like, maybe an hour ago, and I have already gotten like 30 requests.
Aww.
That is unbelievable, and also makes me very sad that I did not offer this sooner. I mean, I've gotten a lot of
So this must have been, I must have filmed this June 10th. because I just did a post. If you follow me on Instagram, if you're on my email list, I just let the world know that June 10th, 2021 was my 6-year anniversary of being in business. And I shared the story of like, I posted on Instagram and was like, we'll see what happens. We'll see if anybody wants to coach with me. And I made this like super lame post of like, I'm hosting online coaching now. Who wants to work with me? Send me an email if you're interested. And I did. I got like 30 requests plus that day. And I was so blown away. I couldn't believe that people actually wanted to work with me online. And I was so scared making that post, and I felt like such an imposter and felt so like, I'm not good enough. Everyone's gonna think I'm stupid, blah, blah, blah. So this was, I remember this day. I remember this day. This is so cool seeing this.
A lot of requests from people who are following me on various social medias. I've gotten a lot of requests to do online training, and I've always just been like, whatever. But the requests have gotten so frequent lately that I decided to start offering it, and apparently you guys want to train with me, and that's super awesome. I love training. Training is not just like my job to me. And honestly, I feel like I've been unemployed since I became a personal trainer, like at my gym, because
that was really cute of me. I probably felt unemployed because I was making $800 a month and I was making less money than if I was on unemployment. No, but honestly, I did, and I still do, just love coaching people. I love coaching people so very much. And it's just so cool. It's so cool I'm glad that I captured this moment on the internet. I didn't realize that I'd like actually filmed this day and like followed myself through the day that I launched my business, and really put it out there. That's just wild to me. And it's just so cute to see my cute little self, and I'm like, oh my God, people want to work with me. Oh, it's just so sweet.
Love my job. It does not feel like work ever, even with like...
It does.
I don't know. It
does feel like work.
And I love my job.
But I still love it.
I'm excited that you guys want to work with me, because I am super excited to work with you. All right, I just left Starbucks. Still, it's 7:15. My last meal was at like 2:30. I'm hungry, y'all. But after I posted about online personal training, I got so many emails that I felt overwhelmed. So I went to Starbucks to answer all those emails and to work on some client plan stuff, because I can't do stuff in my house. I get too distracted.
Still true.
So I'm gonna go home and have my last meal. Can you guess what it's gonna be? It's the same freaking thing I've been eating for the last like 2 weeks for dinner. Egg whites, avocado.
Why were there so many
ground turkey
egg whites? Why? They're so disgusting. Why did we all think for a while that we wanted to eat egg whites? Ew, ew. I wonder if any of you were part of the social media, the fitness, okay, so first of all, fitness social media from like 2013 to 2016 was wild. And if you were a part of that, y'all remember, we did weird stuff with food to make high protein stuff taste good. Did anybody ever have sweet egg whites? Like egg whites mixed with like a sweet protein powder, or like egg whites mixed with like stevia and cinnamon. Ugh, I don't know why that memory just regurgitated itself just now. But like we were all just eating so many frickin' egg whites that we were trying to make them good or interesting. I'm so glad I do not eat like this anymore. Like this is just, all of these meals were so like utilitarian, if you will. Like it was just all about how can I hit my protein goal? How can I hit my protein goal? Because if I was eating 3 meals a day and trying to hit 150 grams of protein a day, that meant I had to be getting 50 grams of protein per meal. Like no wonder I had to eat egg whites. There was no other food that I could eat that would give me that many grams of protein other than like pure chicken breast or pure protein shakes. And like, God, I hate that for me that I was, you know, coming out of this 23-week long intense prep diet. And before that, it was like 2.5 years of just regular dieting. And then going into this and eating food that's so gross to me. Like, and it's so funny, at this period of time, I had really bad gut issues. Really, the gut issue was I was not using the bathroom frequently. Like I was having bowel movements. Sorry if that grosses you out, whatever. I was having like maybe 1 or 2 a week, and it was like that for years, which because for a lot of people, a super high protein diet can really mess with your digestion and make your gut sluggish. For me, that was always the case, but I was just like, whatever, I don't care. So not only was I like my gut super sluggish, but I was also taking like, not like laxative teas, but like teas like Smooth Move or like teas to get things going, because like my gut was so sluggish. And like at no time did it occur to me like, hey, idiot, maybe like stop eating 150 grams of protein a day. It just, you know, I was so caught up in that world of like, I have to eat a ton of protein. I have to do things a certain way. Like these are the rules and I have to abide by them. And so I'm going to eat all these really gross meals to make that happen.
Ground turkey. Crap ton of seasoning. I'm excited. All right. Last meal of the day. I have talked about this on Instagram.
Ew.
If you would know me in
Doesn't
real
look
life,
good.
I kind of can't shut up.
So it's ground turkey, super lean ground turkey. I'm pretty sure egg whites and avocado.
About it, but it's basically 99% lean ground turkey, avocado,
And I thought-
and egg whites seasoned with
99%.
some of this in the egg whites, and also
Oh, this is Dash is disgusting. I need salt.
and the turkey is seasoned with that, and everybody gets salt and garlic powder.
That stuff is still good.
Everybody gets it.
That stuff is good.
And that's that dish. It probably looks like dinosaur poop, but like it's delicious.
67 grams of protein. It's just wild. Social media and our awareness of like a healthy relationship with food has just changed and transformed so much in the last 5 or 6 years online, both for me personally and then just like the world. Like if I posted a video like this on YouTube today, I think there'd be a lot of people being like, hey, maybe you should try something a little healthier for you. And, you know, to be fair, there is a time and place to reverse a diet. It makes me sad looking back now, knowing that like my calories should have been bumped up higher, faster. I should have never competed. Although I would never say I regret competing. That was a huge part of my life and my story that really led me to where I am today. I would never ever say that I regret that decision, even though it came with a lot of consequences down the line. But yeah, it's just so weird and interesting seeing where I am now versus where I was then. And it just makes me really grateful to not be there anymore. I haven't owned a carton of egg whites in like a few years. I think like once a year I'll be like, ooh, egg white omelets. I can start making those again, and I'll just like fill them with veggies and cheese and meat. And then I make it one time and I'm like, what? No dissing anyone who likes egg whites. It's just not for me. A lot of the like diety type foods I used to eat, I just like can't do anymore. Yeah, weird. Well, thanks for watching this with me, guys. I don't know if you like this kind of video. I'd be willing to do another one. I've got 7 years of YouTube content that I could go back on. So yeah, thanks for hanging out and watching me and go down memory lane with myself. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.